Top Deck Gaming. I'm Foggy, and we're gonna do a Void deck tech for you guys today because somebody asked us to. First ninja of the deck is Naruto Childhood, the turn 0, probably the best turn 0 in this deck. When you put him in play, you have to reveal a raid ninja card from your hand. If you cannot play this ninja. However, he has another effect of valid. When this ninja is discarded, you can move this ninja to its owner's chakra area instead. In that case, you can move a player's turn marker up by 1. So you're always going to make your own turn marker go up by 1. And that's going to let you get to your higher turn ninjas, which is all Void tries to do with this pain, pretty much this pain decking. Next turn 0 we've got is obviously going to be 3 Chimera. Really good turn 0. He has an effect of when this ninja's team is defeated, you can place 1 coin symbolizing a Chimera ninja in play with the following. He's a 2/2/0 and injured and healthy, and he's got an enter cost of 0, and he's Animal Renegon. So it's the exact same copy of Giant Chimera on the field, but he gets to use your animal jutsus, which can help, but sometimes we don't. Well, for instance, we don't play them. Next up, we've got Giant Panda. Real good card again. And what this guy does is that when any of your Void ninjas that would be injured or receive any damage, you can give 1 damage to him instead. So you can prevent 2 damage from one of your other Void ninjas and give 1 damage to him. So you can potentially save a lot of ninjas and just injure him, which is amazing. And when he blocks, he also gets +1/+1. So he's a turn 0/0/2, which isn't great. Like usually you want that on turn 1. Usually you want it like a 3/0 or 4/0 turn 0. But that means he gets to be a 1/3. And he gets to protect your ninjas, so just a really good turn 0. Our last turn 0 is going to be Giant Chimera. Or sorry, not Giant Chimera, Giant Chameleon. And what he's got is that if you do not have a ninja that includes pain in its name, he gets -2/-2. So instead of being a 5/2 turn 0, he's a 3/0 turn 0. And he also has the ability of whenever you would sacrifice this ninja, move it to your hand. So instead of just removing it from the game, it'll go back to your hand, and that'll let you play him again so you can sacrifice him again for other ninjas. After that, we've got Animal Path for Pin. He's got Sacrifice 1 Ninja or Client, which is really good because well, not really good, but we've got Giant Chameleon to help with that, so that's really good. And he's also got the ability at the start of every turn, if your turn marker is odd, you can make a Pain Spawn that's a 3/0 Animal Ninja. At the end of the turn, discard this ninja, so you can make somebody that just attack with it, or you can use them to use jutsus and stuff like that. This is a quick throw together deck. Like we haven't actually picked up cards for it. We use the other Animal Path, the Chibi one, but we currently don't have it, so we put in this one, and it's not bad. Like I said, free battle ward sometimes, and it can use our jutsus. Next up, we got Iruka Imino. This guy's got the effect of that at the end of the turn, if you do not have a client in play, you can search your deck for a client and put that client into play. So that's really good because we're playing the Toby or Madara Uchiha, I can't remember which one he is, but he lets you play your Void ninjas without having to play without having to use sacrifice, I believe. So we use Iruka to go get him, and then we can just save all of our ninjas. And this deck's really good if you don't have to sacrifice any ninjas, unless you have Giant Chameleon, obviously. And then our last turn 1 is going to be Karin, because Karin gets you to heal your ninjas, which this deck doesn't have a lot of valid stuff, so you really want to be able to heal your ninjas. And then just being able to heal ninjas because their injured values are obviously not going to be as strong as their healthy values, unless you consider Nagato, but he's an exception in this deck. Our turn 2s, we've got 2 Pain and Naraka Path. He's got Sacrifice 1 Ninja Client again. But he's got the whole, if your turn marker is even, your opponent cannot play missions or activate effects of ninjas with odd turn markers. So that's going to stop really important stuff like your opponent's Zetsus and Hinatas and Orochi Childhood and things like that. Just like the really good ninjas. Not to say that even's not good, but just having your opponent half the ninjas not be able to use their effects is amazing. Then he's also got the effect of Valid Attacker Mission. Put in play 1 heretical icon from your reinforcement deck into play. So obviously we're playing that card. Just a really good card to be able to bring ninjas from our discard pile back into play if we need them. Next up for turn 3s, we've got 1 Sasori. So Sasori's got the effect of when this ninja is put in play, you can reveal any number of your Void cards in your hand, then exchange those cards with the same amount of cards from the bottom of your deck. So what you're doing with him is you're getting rid of all your low-cost ninjas, all your missions you don't need anymore, and you're going to go and try and find some powerful jutsus or your late game ninjas so that you can be able to have more power, being able to stomp your opponent out. Because if you're trying to play in, if your opponent and you are both trying to play your early game ninjas because you're not drawing well, you're gonna have the advantage because you're gonna play out those. You're gonna be able to draw into those late game ninjas. Our final turn 3 is 2 Pain Path. Again, sacrifice 1 ninja or client. During the exchange of jutsu, if your turn marker is odd, you can negate 1 ninja effect or jutsu being played. So this can obviously stop your opponent's ninja effects that are trying to either make one of your guys stand by or trying to stop a jutsu, or you can just stop one of their jutsus if they're trying to do some kind of aggro. If they're trying to negate one of your jutsus, you can let your jutsus become unnegated. So really good card. Obviously, because of things like Preda Path and the Naruto Path and other pains we've got, there's a lot of turn manipulation, so you can make sure your turn marker is odd or even or rush to get those high entrance cost ninjas out early. For our we've only got 2 turn forwards in this deck, and that's Pain Human Path. Also, sacrifice 1 ninja or client. During the mission phase, while your turn marker is even, you can randomly remove 2 cards in a player's hand from the game. In that case, at the end of the turn, return those cards. So if your opponent has a huge grip of cards, or if they've just got 2 cards, you can get rid of those cards, like 2 of those cards, or all of those cards, depending on if they have 2 or less cards. And this, they won't be able to participate in the exchange of jutsu, so you've got free reign for that turn. Or if they have a full hand, like I said, they go down to 4 cards, now they have less options for what they can do during the exchange of jutsu, and that lets you get so much advantage. Just being able to do everything while your opponent has to sit back and watch you do things, or is unavailable to do everything they needed to. After that, we've got 2 Kasame, Hoshigaki. One's a proxy because we don't have 2. But this guy's effect is when this ninja is sent, when this ninja attacks in a team with all void ninjas, you can move 2 of your opponent's chakra from the game. Then, if your opponent has less chakra, then you move your turn marker up by 1. Again, we're trying to race up. We're trying to get to that turn 6, turn 7, make sure our turn markers even or odd so we can use our effects and negate all of our opponent's effects. So this helps a lot, as well as being able to get rid of your opponent's chakra so that they can't do anything during the exchange of jutsu and they can't activate their effects. So turn 6s, we've got 3 different turn 6s. The first one we've got is Nagato. Nagato ability is sacrifice 1 ninja. It's not just a client, so you have to do a ninja on this one. At the start of your turn, you can remove 1 Nagato ninja card in any player's discard pile from the game. In that case, your opponent organizes their team until there's only 1 ninja in each team. So you're basically going to take your opponent's entire field, make them all into ninjas of teams of 1, which lets you make 3 huge teams. And if your opponent wants to block, they have to sacrifice 3 of their ninjas, or they have to give you a bunch of free battle awards. It's also because of the fact that they're probably not going to jump block with their strong ninjas. This gives you the ability to play your jutsus without your opponent having as much to be able to counter those jutsus if they want. If, like, for instance, they had to have Jonin or a certain turn marker to use those jutsus. Then we've got this Pain Deva Path. His ability is at the start of your turn, you can select one of your opponent's ninjas. In that case, if your turn marker is even, that ninja must be sent out to battle during this turn. Otherwise, that ninja cannot be sent out to battle during this turn. So this is another really important reason to have your turn marker odd or even, because you could decide this entire team is not going to go out to battle, or this ninja by itself has to be sent out to battle. That'll let you control the exchange of jutsu, again, if they have to have a certain turn marker, if they have to have a certain ninja rank. Again, we've got one of this Pain Deva Path, and this one's effect is sacrifice 1 ninja or client, just like most of the other pains in this deck. Exchange of jutsu, move your turn marker down by X. Target opposing ninja with an entrance cost of X or less becomes a standby ninja. Valid, your turn marker is considered to be both odd and even. So this is going to be great for Naruto Path and for Human Path and all those kinds of things, to be able to activate their effect every turn. And on top of that, just being able for your opponent to try and do anything with any of their ninjas, just being able to respond, move your turn marker down, as well as moving that ninja standby so that they can't do anything is really good. Also, that you get the advantage on teams, being able to OV your opponent's team really easily, just get that extra effect. And if they're trying to jump block, you could move that 1 ninja out of the team, and then you just get free battle awards. And then next we've got 2 missions. First one is 2 Void Worlds, or turn 0/0 with 0 hand cost. Permanent mission. The effect is whenever you put in play a Void Ninja, put 1 coin on this ninja. And during your mission phase, remove any number of coins from this mission. Apply the following effects according to the number of coins removed. 2 or more coins, move the bottom card of your deck to your hand. 10 or more coins, move your opponent's turn marker to 0. We're trying to rush out in this deck, so if we hit this turn 0 and then play 10 Void Ninjas, putting them to 0 means that they could get to turn 2 or turn 3 and then immediately, well, that's not happening, but let's say turn 5 or so, they're going to go straight back to 0, so they're not going to be able to play their turn 6. They're not going to be able to activate all those abilities that they wanted to activate. This cannot be affected by your opponent's mission card, so this means that if they're trying to use something like the next target, or if they're trying to use Friendship from Sorrow, will Friendship from Sorrow be affected by this? It's not technically a mission.
No. Yeah, it's a mission.
It's a mission, even though it's in your tracker? Okay.
Yeah, it's a mission.
So this wouldn't be affected by your opponent's Friendship from Sorrow either, but we're not really using it for the 10 plus ability because that takes quite a while to get out. It's mostly so that we can get free cards to our hand so we can dominate our opponent, which is straight card advantage. Next up, we've got 1 Invasion. You know, there's so many good Void missions. This is a really good one, but we just had only room for only one. This effect is draw 1 card, and then draw another card for each ninja with sacrifice you have in play. Obviously, all of the pains had sacrifice, so if you have 1 of each pain, you can draw, like, I think 6 cards with this deck, maybe 5. But you consistently get 2 to 3 cards with this thing, which is amazing, and then you can sometimes, like I say, go positive. We've got 3... The Time of Pain. The Time of Pain's effect is if you have 2 or more Rinnegan and or Akatsuki ninjas, you can move your turn marker up by 1. Then move 1 card from the bottom of your deck to your hand. So you're going to increase yourself from turn 1 to turn 3, as well as draw an extra card for the effect of just having this card. That's great for being able to make sure our turn markers odd or even, rushing to our late game. That's all the Void deck's really trying to do most of the time. Next, we got 2 the Ame Orphans. If you have less ninjas than your opponent, search your deck for 1 Rain Ninja card, reveal it, and move it to your hand. Then, if that ninja has sacrifice, you can move your turn marker up by 1. So if your opponent's going first, you're almost guaranteed to have less ninjas than them, so you can just play this on turn 2 before you play your ninja and get its effect, as well as move your turn marker up by 1. If you're going first, maybe you missed a drop. If not, maybe your opponent had a way to cheat in ninjas. And if not, it's just you can still use it for hand costs, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, you can go search out that pain, that Nagato, or whatever ninja in the deck you want, and just put it to your hand, as well as rush into that end game to be able to play that ninja you searched. We've got 2 the Spiral of Pain, a permanent 2 mission card, which means it stays in play for 2 turns. When your turn marker is moved, you may draw a card. This deck's entire theme is moving its turn marker around. You draw a lot of cards. You can draw, I think, 3 cards in a turn was the most I've done so far. That's over the course of 2 turns. That's 2 of your turns and 2 of your opponent's turns. So you're drawing at the end of your turn guaranteed. So this thing's at most going to net you 0 cards unless your opponent decides to respond. And you're going to be drawing most likely like at least positive 3 off this card. For our clients, we've got the 1 Madaru Uchiha that I told you guys about when I showed you Aruka. Its effect is attacker of your mission phase, move your turn marker down by 1. In that case, deploy a Void Ninja ignoring its sacrifice, and at the end of the turn, if your turn marker is 0, you can draw a card. So this is good for all of those pains that have those sacrifice effects. You would just move your turn marker down by 1 and play it for free, so you don't have to sacrifice all your ninjas and let your opponent get the advantage of ninjas on the board. And you also draw cards usually, so you get to draw a bunch of free cards and get the card advantages on them. And you can control, if need be, you can control if your turn mark is odd or even just by deciding to play a ninja with sacrifice rather than sacrificing if you would want to. As well as the fact that since he is a client, he can be sacrificed himself to a sacrifice ninja. And that was our last client, so we're going to be moving on to jutsus. We've got 3 the Eyes of Pain. Requirements Rinnegan. Effect is to move your turn marker up by 1. And Expert Nagato. So if Nagato is the one using this jutsu, move your opponent's turn marker down by 1. Since we've got the turn 0 Nagato Childhood, if he uses it, we can go from 0 to turn 2 at the end of our turn. And then your opponent is going to stay at turn 0. Or if you use this on turn 1, you can go up to turn 3, and then your opponent's going to stay at turn 0. Yeah, so if you're on turn 1, they just moved up to 1. They go down to 0.
Oh, on your turn 1.
Yeah, if you use it on
your turn 0, they're -1.
You can go negative turn marker? Did not know that. Okay, use it on turn 0.
Yeah.
You can go negative turn marker.
Like negative powers.
Well, there you go. You can use it on turn 0 and make them go to -1. Then they can't play anything. That's pretty good. I think. It's broken. No, it's definitely good. We've got one hologram. The requirements are Akatsuki, so that's going to be your your Sasori, your Kasame, all of your Pain Ninjas. But it's effective. Search your deck for one Akatsuki Ninja card with an entrance cost less than your turn marker and move it to the user's team in any position. In that case, move the user to the bottom of the owner's deck. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and go grab that turn 1 Animal Path and decide you can let him use it. You're probably going to go grab your Pain to let you move your turn marker down by X. In that case, move their opponent's Ninja with entrance cost X or less out of the team. You can go and grab Kasame if you want to get rid of their chakra and start making it hard for them to do the exchange of jutsu. Just a really good card. Then we've got one Summoning Jutsu, Pain. Its effect is, or its requirements first of all is Rinnegan plus Ninjutsu. Its effect is search your deck for up to 2 Rinnegan Ninja cards with a combined entrance cost of X or less, reveal them and move one to your hand and move the other into the user's team in any position. X equals your turn marker. So if you're on turn 5, you could go get a turn 5, well, we don't have any, but you could go get, for instance, if you had a turn 5 Rinnegan Ninja, you could go get one, put it to the field, and put Nagato Childhood to your hand, or one of the animals to your hand. If you just decided you need like a turn, the Naraka Path, you could go get him as well as a turn 2, and then put that to your hand and keep Naraka Path on the field. So you get to choose what you're doing with this card, and you can do multiple combinations of what you want to put to your hand and what you want to put to the field. We've got 2 Finishing Blow. Requirements are Rinnegan plus Ninjutsu and an entrance cost of 2 or more. Target is 1 ninja on the field, or is it 1 ninja battling its user? 1 ninja opposing the user. And the effect is if the target is injured, move it to the remove from game, and otherwise you're going to injure the target. So you can shut off your opponent's non-valid effects. You can remove ninjas from the game if it's like Naruto that's usually injured, or Konohamaru or KNS or anything like that. To get your opponents off the field if they're trying to use a jutsu while they're injured. All those kinds of things. Next up, we've got 2 The Hand of Pain. Requirements Rinnegan plus Taijutsu, I believe. No, Ninjutsu still. Target is 1 jutsu card being played. Effect, negate the target and remove it to and shuffle it into the user's deck. If your turn marker is odd, negate the target's user's effect text. Holy crap, this one's hard. Effect, Pain Path, or Expert Pain Path. You can move this card to your hand. If the user is Pain Path, you can move this back to your hand. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to use this with Pain Path. It's going to go back to your hand. You can constantly negate jutsu cards. Jesus Christ, this guy's being dumb.
Sorry.
You can just move jutsu cards back to your opponent's hand, or to their deck, and you can move this back to your hand and constantly negate jutsus for just 2 cost. And the last jutsu of this deck is going to be 2 Almighty Push. Cost is double X. The effect is that if Path, I believe, or is it Deva? No, it's Deva. Deva, it becomes just 1X, and the requirements are just any Rinnegan Ninjutsu. So Deva Path doesn't have to use it; it's just better with Deva Path. Apply the following effects according to your turn marker. Even. Move X cards from the top and bottom of your deck to your hand. So you can draw, if you're paying 10 chakra and it's not Deva, you could draw 5 cards. If you are using it with Deva and you pay 5 chakra, you could draw 5 cards. And if it's odd, you're doubling that. You're drawing 5 from the top and 5 from the bottom. And if it's odd, X ninjas on the battlefield become standby ninjas. So you can pay 5 with Deva Path and make 5 ninjas standby. You can pay 10 with anybody else and get 5 ninjas standby. So it's a great, like, almost Fear by Genjutsu, but it's also the fact that if you don't want it to be a Fear by Genjutsu, you could just draw a bunch of cards and get a bunch of card advantage of your opponent. Final card of the deck is going to be our Reinforcement, the Heretical Icon. Its effect is, of course, at the start of your turn, you can remove this ninja from the game. In that case, move 1 ninja card with Pain in its name from your discard pile to your village with an entrance cost equal to or less than your turn marker, ignoring its sacrifice requirements. Valid at the start of your turn, heal 1 of your Rinnegan ninjas. So he's great for healing all of those non-valid effects, as well as if you don't have Karin, or if for some reason you've already used Karin and you wanted to heal 2 ninjas. You could also just sacrifice and be able to put a ninja in your discard pile back into play. So if they somehow got rid of your Pain Deva Path or your Nagato and you want them in play, you can sacrifice them and put them in play. But that's the end of the Void deck. Sorry that I stuttered so much.
It's a
I
mouthful.
did what I could.
Yeah.
There's a lot of effect text on these cards because they're so like specific. Because like you can't just put sacrifice on a card and not make it have multiple effects. It wouldn't be a great deck. This is a great deck though. There's great ways to build it if you're not going to do it this way. There's great cards that we don't have that we could have included. Anyway, this is our Void deck. It's fun. It's amazing. You guys wanted to see it, so we put it up for you. This has been, all of us putting together. This is from Top Deck Gaming, and we salute you.